All right, let's talk about a financial truth that sounds completely backward, maybe even a little crazy. Getting your first $100,000 is way, way harder than getting your first million. And honestly, understanding why that is, well, that's the key to actually making it happen.
You've probably heard this saying before, right? But what's more important is you've probably felt it. It's that feeling of scraping together every spare dollar, investing it, and then looking at your account and feeling like you've barely made a dent. It is so frustrating. And look, if you're feeling that struggle, you have to know this isn't about being lazy. Not at all. You're working hard, you're putting money aside when you can. That's not the issue here.
And it's definitely not because you're unlucky either. This has nothing to do with winning the lottery or finding some magic stock. This is about physics. Yeah, the physics of money. The reason it feels so impossible is actually much simpler than all that. It's because, in the beginning, you are fighting against pure inertia. Imagine you are pushing a giant, heavy boulder up a steep hill and you have zero momentum. Every single inch of progress comes directly from your own sweat and brute force. But stick with me here, because I'm about to show you the exact moment that boulder starts to roll with you. And just a quick heads up, as always, this is all for educational purposes. It's not financial advice, so please make sure you're doing your own research. Okay, so let's dive into this whole uphill battle thing. Why does it feel so invisible at the start? The simple answer is that when you're starting from scratch, your money has absolutely no momentum of its own. You know how it is, right? You manage to invest $100, maybe 500, and it just seems to vanish into your portfolio. It doesn't even make a dent. You check your balance a month later, and hey, it might even be down a little. This is the exact spot where most people get discouraged and just quit. They think it's not working. But here's the secret, the thing you have to understand. Compounding, the engine that creates all wealth, is basically invisible at first. That slow, painful start isn't a sign you're failing. It's just how the machine works. It's warming up, even if you can't feel the heat just yet. Okay, enough with the analogies. Let's look at the actual math here. And don't worry, this is super simple stuff, no crazy formulas, just some basic numbers that are going to make this whole idea click. So check this out. Let's just use a simple 10% average annual return. When you have 10 grand invested, your portfolio is generating about $1,000 a year. Not bad. At 50,000, it's making you 5,000 a year. But look what happens at 100,000. Now it's generating $10,000 a year, all by itself. The growth is literally speeding up. And that is the tipping point. See, before 100K, it's all you. Your savings, your effort, that's doing all the heavy lifting. But after you cross that line, the growth from your investment starts to pull its own weight. It starts to work just as hard as you are. That's when the boulder finally starts rolling downhill. And this is where everything changes in your head. You realize you're not the only one working for your money anymore. You've got a partner in this. And that partner is your money itself. I like to call this your second salary. So what is this second salary? It's simple. It's the income your portfolio starts generating for you all on its own. Think of it like this. Imagine getting a bonus every single year that you didn't have to work a single extra hour for. That's your capital clocking in and going to work for you 24/7. And right around that $100,000 mark, that second salary starts to feel real. I mean, think about it. An extra $10,000 a year, give or take, without you lifting a finger. Now, is that quit your job money? No way. But is it enough to create some serious momentum? Absolutely. It's the wind at your back that makes the rest of the journey so much easier. Okay, so understanding this momentum is so important because it helps you avoid the single biggest mistake people make, what I call the quitter's trap. This is where so many people fall off, right before the magic is about to happen. Seriously, saying this investing thing isn't working when you have like 30 grand saved up, that's exactly like quitting the gym after 3 weeks because you don't have a six-pack yet. It's ridiculous. You're stopping right in the middle of building the foundation. So you gotta reframe this. The first 100K isn't the main event. It's the training montage from a movie, right? It's where you build the habits, the discipline, and the financial muscle. If you can just get through this phase, the entire game flips in your favor. So if we know this first part is the hardest, the big question is, how do we get through it faster? Well, it really just comes down to pulling 3 main levers. First off, jack up your savings rate. And I'm not talking about skipping coffee. Find the big leaks, that huge car payment, the way too expensive apartment, and plug them. Redirect that cash. Second, bump up your income.
Even a little boost from a side gig is a powerful accelerator. And third, and this one is probably the most important, don't get knocked out of the game. You have to survive the bad market years by staying consistent and not panic selling when things look grim. So this all boils down to a pretty simple system. Let's call it the 100K rule. First, put your investing on autopilot. Set it up so it comes out on payday. No excuses. Second, every single time you get a raise, you raise your investment amount. Every time. Third, treat that $100,000 mark like a mission-critical goal. And last, the golden rule. You do not stop just because the market gets scary. I really want you to let this one sink in. We think market downturns are the enemy, but they're not. They're a sale. The real enemy, the only thing that can truly stop you from reaching your goal, is you. Stopping is the enemy. Because look, that first 100 grand, that's the grind. That's the heavy lifting. It's you, by yourself, building this machine from scratch. But the moment you cross that milestone, the second that boulder finally gets to the top of the hill and starts rolling, you're going to find that building wealth feels a whole lot less like a brutal fight and a lot more like a powerful machine that's working for you. The only question is, are you willing to get through the training montage to get there?